area where legends are born. Wildcats hustling, ready to adorn. Athletes train hard, we grind every day.
Good morning, Wildcat Nation. It's time for episode 29 of the Wildcat Way Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We want to shout out our Wildcat Way sponsor, Stella's Ice Cream of Nampa. They're taking our Wildcat Way sponsorship, the pillar of positivity. My name is Noah Kirkman. I'm your host today. So will each of you please introduce yourselves and tell Wildcat Nation what grade you're in and what position you play on the court?
I'm a junior. I'm a wing. My name is Parx Johnston, and yeah.
I'm Easton Lott. I'm a junior, and I just play wing.
Max Keller. I'm also junior, and I play guard.
Who do we got? I'm Coach Caden Wright. I'm the varsity assistant for the boys basketball team.
Oh, yeah. All right, you guys finished second place in districts, losing a close championship game last week to BK in overtime. You guys are heading into state with your first game against the number 5 seeded Valley View. How are you preparing differently for opening game of state compared to your regular season games against them?
I think everything's different in the postseason. Like, atmosphere is a lot bigger. Expectations are a lot higher, and we're like farther in the season. So I think like in terms of defense and offense is a lot better. So I think the mindset kind of going into this one rather than the last 2 times we played them is kind of it's more about us and less about them because we've played them twice. We know what they want to do. So we just have to do what we do better than what they do.
Yeah, I think going along with that, it's kind of just more of getting all the guys to believe, and like Max said, it's more about us than them. So it's focusing more on ourselves as we practice and watch film, just little things like that, and getting everyone to be fully bought in this last week.
100%. What expectations are different from last year's team heading into state after being the higher seed this year?
I know for last year we were just pretty happy that we made state, but this year we're expecting to actually dominate the entire state and show the state who we are, especially with the amount of talent we have this year.
I also think like the growth from my freshman year and even last year, the growth has been like exceptional. And so the standards have been raised so high, and we should be a real big contender in state this year. What do you guys think makes this team special?
Well, I think this team is special is because we have so much talent. Like, we obviously have our starting 5, but our bench is also very deep. Like, it doesn't just cut off from the starting 5 and then it's just bums on the bench. Like, we actually have a lot of good players that we can keep rolling in guys and keep dominating teams.
I think to add on to that is it's also our like team chemistry is really good because I know a lot of teams that when they have this much talent like we do, like they struggle with like driving with each other because it's a lot of competition of like, well, I should be playing more minutes than them. I feel like everyone's really bought into their role, even if it's not the role they really want this year. Everyone's bought in.
Yeah, I think the guys just kind of like want it more for their brothers. We talk about that a lot. Like, oneness is like the biggest thing that we've taken from the basketball program, and I think that the team has done a good job of not like hiding that, but showing it in like including it with the lower level teams, and also like the school, like getting like the community all bought in on oneness and not just hiding it for the basketball team.
100%. Coach Caden Wright, from your standpoint, representing all the coaching staff, same question. What do you think makes this team special?
Yeah, I think my answer is going to be very similar to what Max said. Is that we're a very talented group, and I think it's very difficult and very rare to have a bunch of dudes like this that are talented, that all play, that can all contribute, to be able to buy into their role, even if maybe they're not super happy with the role that they received this year initially, right? But understanding that that's what they need to buy into in order for this team to win. I think their willingness to do that and stay together and be a brotherhood is what made this year so special. And I think ultimately what makes Columbia so special. And so just super grateful for the opportunity to be able to coach these guys. And it's going to be amazing what they do in the postseason. I think that's really what it's going to come down to in the postseason for us is, do we stay together? And I think that'll kind of reflect on the court.
100%. Parx, I wanted to talk a little bit about you today. Last year you were on JV, you were starting JV, and now you're starting varsity last year. That's a big jump. What kind of prepared you to make that?
Kind of like the off season, like I focused like a lot on like not missing a day, but also at the same time like my mindset switched at like the beginning of this basketball season, like what can I do? And like coach talks about it a lot. Like even if you're thinking like not trying to be selfish, but like thinking about like, oh, I'm not giving enough effort, like or stuff like that, or I could have played harder. You're still thinking about yourself. And so like one of my biggest things is like, how can I be the best teammate here and focus more on my teammates rather than myself? And I've just seen like my game's been affected after that in all positive ways.
Staying together, man. That's the key. Speaking of keys, what are 3 biggest keys to succeed at state in the next few days, guys?
I think like doing everything with passion, like we kind of talked about it in film yesterday, is like I just brought it up and I said I think the word for this week is got to be passion. Like it's easy to do some of the bigger things like shoot or drive or do the things that everyone sees with passion, and I guess you don't always see like the little intangible things, and so like you just got to be passionate in everything you do, have a voice, like don't be afraid to go be great.
I think the second key to go along with that, with being passionate, is also being consistent in that passion. Like we have to be focused these next 3 days, or I guess the 3 days of state and the next few days leading up to it. I think if we can stay consistent in our effort and our passion, we have to stack days. We can't like just fall away, like have a really good day and then have a mediocre day and then have a really good day. I think we have to be consistent in everything we do.
I think the third key is focus. For us, hard work hasn't really been like an issue for us. Like we've always been working hard. The thing is focus. Like we've just had to actually be able to lock in and be in the right mental space and be able to make the right play, because we're working hard. But when you add that with focus, that's when you actually get places.
Going along with all 3 of the keys that were said, I think in all 3 of those aspects, you have to be composed. Max talked about it a lot, really good yesterday in film about being composed. Like being composed comes from preparation, and that's where all your confidence comes from. So if you're composed and you're confident in all 3 of those things, like you can go do special things.
I like that drill that you guys do in practice. JV's taking it from you guys. 25-2. It's a drill where basically you just pass it around. You have to make a certain amount of layups in a row in the amount of time. And, everyone can make a layup. I mean, people that don't play basketball can make a layup. And so it all ties back into being composed and being focused. And so that's always been one of my favorite drills. It kind of just displays how focused you really are. What have you guys learned from this season that goes beyond basketball and just in life in general?
I think being there for everybody else. I know there's been a lot of times this year where like there's been games that haven't gone someone's way, or like, and I feel like something that I've had to learn is like it's bigger than me, and it's bigger than just like the game. Like maybe we didn't have a good game, or like we had a good game, but I noticed someone didn't have a good game. And being able to build relationships with this year's team, to kind of be able to like talk to people one-on-one, it's been a really big blessing for me to understand like how to communicate with people and how to build better friendships, even when people's basketball career isn't going the right way necessarily.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about this, and I said like the beginning of last summer, I said that if basketball doesn't go the way I want it, like if we don't win a state championship or I don't have the role I want on the team, that I would never regret like being on Columbia. Like, and he kind of asked me why, and I said that like oneness isn't just a word, it's a true thing. It's like it's something that we all stand for, and that it's something that we all want to protect. Like I know that any day of the week that like my brother would do anything for me that I asked him to, and I know that they would believe in me doing the same thing, and that's just one of the biggest blessings I've seen in my life.
100%. When people think of Columbia boys basketball this year, what do you hope they say about you guys?
I hope they just see how much like fun we've had this year as a team, as brothers. That's the one thing we've been talking about a lot recently, is the brotherhood. I think if one person could take away something, it's just that like we're all bought in, like from 1 to 12 on the bench. There's no one that's sitting there wishing that they were somewhere else. Like everyone's bought into the games and everyone loves each other. I just think that's something really big that we've had.
Yeah, going along with like what Max said, like before our big Middleton game last Monday, like we had kids that like went to Columbia, like like our not this kid, but our team manager. Just a kid from just a younger brother from one of the kids on the team, and he feels like he can be around us all the time and come shoot with us. And then we had this kid named Nate just come out and shoot with us and warm up and like I feel like everyone is just welcome. Like I have a whole bunch of little brothers and cousins. They just run around and they know everyone by name, and they freaking love every single one of them.
100%. And this next question might be a little obvious. Besides the biggest goal of winning the championship, what is your guys' goal at state in the next few weeks?
I think for us, it's just going 1-0 every day. Like, you can't obviously want to make the state championship, but we can't get there if we don't win the first game against Valley View or the second game against Lewiston or whoever we play. So we just got to go 1-0, and obviously that would lead to winning the state championship and hanging a white banner for us.
I think bigger also. I think bigger picture is winning the state championship, but with that comes like kind of putting our mark on the state. Like this state has been run by a lot of teams, especially Eastern Idaho in 5A for the past probably 10 years. I think us winning a state championship can kind of put our mark in the history book, showing that Columbia is here and we're here to stay.
Yeah, going along with that, I think like one of the biggest things that like when I was watching film the other day is like seeing like the community that was cheering for us, especially like the people sitting courtside, like they were going crazy for us. And like us not winning that game like hurt for like I'm sure all of ourselves, but at the same time like those people wanted it so bad and Columbia wanted it so bad. And our awesome custodian and janitor Rigo, like he told me the other night that he stayed up till 2 a.m. thinking about the game. Like just people I think we want to win it not for only for ourselves and the program, but for the whole community that's backed up behind us.
100%. And you guys are juniors. I mean, you guys still have we still have another year, and so we're kind of setting the building blocks for next year too, and what next year is going to look like. And so, great, Coach Wright, what are you most proud of your team this season? Also, how about your basketball program as a whole, from freshman, sophomore to JV?
Yeah, I would say the thing that I'm most proud of for the varsity guys, I'll start there. Is I think that they've really embodied the idea of making it cool to care, right? And I think it's really helped with just our overall culture as a program. I think it's, I would go as far as to say that it's maybe bled into the Columbia as a whole, and just making it cool to care. Corey Wilson, you've also challenged, the entire school, like challenge accepted, and I think that you guys have also embodied that. And so my biggest thing for you guys is, yes, you guys are phenomenal basketball players. We're a great team. You're very talented. I'm super proud of all the things you've done on the court. But the way you guys embody that in the hallways and with each other off the court and the things you guys talk about, I mean, just sitting here listening to you guys right now just kind of blows my mind a little bit. So I'm just really proud of, like, the maturity that you guys have and the love you have for each other, the love you have for the school. I think it's really important just as a life lesson that you guys are, like, proud to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing for me is how much you guys appreciate that and how grateful you guys are for the opportunity. And then I would say for the Frost Off and JV squads this year, I'm super proud of those guys, kind of for the same reasons, but also like I feel like some of those guys, we come from all kinds of different backgrounds. There was new coaches this year, right? And for them to just buy in to the culture the way they did, also for how hard they played every single game, how coachable they were regardless. Like at the JV level, I was the JV coach this summer. They get a new coach. The Frost level gets a new coach. And so just really proud of those guys for being willing to accept the role and buy in as quickly as they did. And ultimately it reflected on the court and in their records, both making the postseason and then obviously the JV team for making another district championship, even though it didn't end the way they wanted to, the way that group stayed together. I'm just super proud of the way they fought this year. They did all the right things in order for them to give themselves the best chance at the end of the season to go reach their goals. So super proud of the way they competed.
100%. Thank you, guys. All right, Wildcat Nation, make sure that you get out to Rocky Mountain on Thursday at 2 p.m. To support and cheer on our CHS boys basketball team at the state tournament. It's our first round. We need to pack the house and support our boys just as you have all season. Have a great rest of your week, and go Wildcats.
Pushing through limits, come what may. Basketball, football, track and field. Every sweat drop reveals a heart that's sealed. Got the spirit of champions living in our souls. With the roar of the crowd, we're reaching our goals. State-bound athletes, running like the wind, climbing every mountain. the fire ignite. Practice long nights, pushing hard, it's our fight. The coaches believe, they see the potential, instilling the drive, making it essential. Through the pain and the sweat, we rise and we fight.